And welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. Still joined by head track and field coach Adonis Stanley. So, Coach, we just talked about the mid-distance and distance side of the men's team, but let's go towards the women's side. And Livia Mahaffey, she has proved to be a leader on the team, especially in those distance events. How does she use her leadership to push the freshmen and guide the other runners on the team?
Livia is a hard worker on and off the track, and she not only leads off the track, but she also leads in her performances. And what I've noticed is that, you know, by her working hard, it pushes her other colleagues, you know, to work just as hard as her, and also get PRs in their particular events. So her leadership is shown a whole lot.
As we talked before, the last time we had done the Black and Gold Report, AJ Davis is back in your field events this season, and he has grabbed 3 top 10 finishes, especially at this last meet at the UNCW SEAC Invitational. Has he performed to your expectations so far this season, and do you see him stacking up to the competition in the upcoming meets?
With this being AJ's senior year, AJ is a very hard worker. He performs every time he comes to a track meet, and not only performs, but he competes and finishes very high. So he has met my expectations, and I expect him to, you know, just become even more better as he finishes out his senior year.
I know last season he was pretty close to provisionally qualifying, and he was inching closer and closer towards the meets win. Do you think that's something that he'll be able to reach this season, or do you think it's going to be one of those near events where he has to get it at the last minute?
It's pretty much based on him. You know, how his season keeps progressing and how hard he continues to work. You know, the sky's the limit. So if he keeps working hard, you know, the best will come to him.
He can do it. Yeah. Okay, well, on the women's side, Dyreka Mitchell had 3 top 10 finishes at the Seahawk Invitational, and Hannah Metzinger had 2 top 5 finishes. She performed outstanding, had 2 personal bests as well. Do you foresee their performances improving throughout the season, and what goals have you set for Dyreka and for Hannah?
Yes, I do foresee their goals becoming better, and one thing that I specify to all my athletes is just keep progressing to become better, because as long as you keep progressing to become better, the performances will take care of themselves. So, you know, if they keep doing what they're doing, they will eventually become better.
Well, both teams finished 5th at the UNCW Seahawk Invitational. How do you see the upcoming meets to pan out in terms of placement?
As far as placement, I hope we continue to at least finish in the top 5 at scored meets. If we don't, oh well. But as long as they're getting times down and they're progressing and running PRs, getting better for regionals, I think we'll turn out pretty well.
And in those scoring meets where you place, does it go by the top 10, top 15, top 5? How do they go about scoring those so that way you know where you place?
Pretty much, they first place gets 10 points, and then 8th place gets 1 point, so it goes like 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So pretty much whoever finished the top 8 in each event gets points for their particular team, and then they add those teams up, those scores up, and then that's who you pretty much see. That's how
they combine it. Well, at the regional meet, great transition here, they also keep track of what placement you're at, but the regional meet was moved up for an extra week this year. Do you think that will pose any difficulties in the training, and what do you see in terms of other teams? What are they going to bring, and who do you see as the biggest competition?
It's not going to change anything as far as our training. We just have to just keep moving on, even though it's a change that we don't have any control over. So we're just going to continue just to progress to become better. I think our biggest competition this year will probably be Lenore Ryan. I see they pretty stacked on the sprint side, and on the women's side, I think it's Clayton State and Mount Olive that has pretty decent athletes on their team that we're going to have to go up against. So I think they have a little more in numbers than we have, but pretty much what I plan to do is just use what we got so that we can finish out on top this year.
All right, so one last question really quick. You've got an upcoming meet. This will air on the day that you're competing at the CCU Shamrock Invitational. Any type of advice that you have for your athletes going into this next meet, or what are you expecting to see?
All I'm expecting them to see is just to go out there and compete. Hopefully I'll have some more provisional qualifiers this year. I mean, at this particular meet, So I'm excited to see what these guys are going to do at this meet.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach Stanley, and thank you for watching this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report. Until next week, go Braves.